after he's done with his regular epistles, then you have the book of Hebrews, and it's almost like the church in the 4th century, they didn't know what to do with this epistle. Well, what's interesting about Hebrews is that it's not an epistle. It's a long sermon. And what makes the book of Hebrews unique is, unlike all of the other writings of the New Testament, we don't know who wrote this letter. We can hypothesize early heretics that they called the Gnostics. And the Gnostics were kind of composing these para-gospels, these pseudo-gospels, and they composed a whole bunch of apocalypses, the apocalypse of Mary Magdalene, or they were just flooding the market, so to speak. And so the church has to say which of these writings are literally apostolic. Two of the Gospels are not from the apostles, from the 12, but are from the apostles' disciples, mainly Mark and who else? Luke. But it's still apostolic in origin. From that apostolic era, basically about 20 years, right? So they didn't know what to do with Hebrews because nobody knows who wrote it, and we still don't know who wrote it, right? But it is of apostolic origin. But its content is really the key, because the content of Hebrews, it gives us this beautiful articulation of the gospel as it was known and being preached and being lived out in the city of Rome during this era between 70 AD and 80 AD or 85 AD. We know this from the letter to the Hebrews, especially because there was this historical event that was very traumatic for the Jews. The year 80 AD, the Roman Emperor Vespasian did what in Judea? He destroyed the city of Jerusalem. Jerusalem was no more. And so what do the Jews of that day do in order to make their sacrifices? They can't. And so it's another catastrophe, just like it was for the Babylonians.
Do you mind if they use the...
I
meant to mind if they use our fellowship hall.
Yeah, that's what... Oh, they can use the fellowship hall if they want. Or even the conference room, whatever they want.
Because they want to make coffee.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. You understand about the coffee.
Yep, good. So, I do. So you hear what I'm saying. So, what are the criteria? What's going on, and to whom are these... to whom are these Christians, being who are they being written to? So contextually, we call it, historically, Hebrews is fascinating. The very content of Hebrews gives us this beautiful picture of what these early first generation Christians of this heavenly Jerusalem. And of course, it's going to be expressed liturgically, and that's the next point that we make. Because the Jews were a liturgical people, meaning that they express and experience their faith through their worship, the author to the Hebrews presupposes an entire Old Testament, or what we would call an Old Testament experience, when he speaks about the high priest. They know who the high priest was. They knew that the high priest in that temple